There you are. It was maybe a year and a half ago. I went up, Sandy and I went up to Mystic, Connecticut. Yeah, Mystic, Connecticut. You see the hat. Yeah. And we we visited with my daughter Sunshine and her husband Jason, and Jason at that time worked for the seaport, Mystic Seaport, maintenance, that kind of thing, and nice guy, very nice guy, and I remember he took us. We got in, we got let in for free to the museum there on again on the coastline at Mystic, and as you walked in the door, uh, Sunny was kind of excited. She was hoping I'd see it and notice it and say something, and well, she got her wish. Right as you walked in the door back then. Now this was about 2 years ago. They had the shell of a boiler. The inside, actually, they had not well the skeleton of a boiler. Right. The mud drums, which are big round pipes, the tubes, the water tubes, which would have been that held the water that would be turned into steam, and then a big steam drum up on top. The boiler tubes curved; they were bent to fit into the steam drum, and they also dropped down to be part to fit into the mud drums. And Sunny's just walking. She's just, I don't know, she's just watching. And she knew what was going to happen. I turn around and look at the boiler and I say, boy, that boiler's pretty, boy, that's an old boiler. Gosh, look at this. And she almost mimicked my words. When I said mud drum, she said mud drum. Steam pipes there, right about the water levels about here, about here. And then they've got the steam drum, takeoff drum, superheaters over. And she, she said, "Oh, I thought you'd like that display, Dad." And I said, "Yeah, I do. Look at that. Cool. Do they have any more?" I was asking, any more boilers, dissected like this? She says, "I don't know. There's got to be something." This was in some very old early steamship. I said, "Yeah, I can tell by the looks of things here." It was all, well, it was rusty, but it was good rust. Yeah, it was more like not the rotting away rust. It was more like the coating of rust that kind of helps with the corrosion. And it was, yeah, I was having a ball checking it out. And I said, and of course, Sonny knew it was next. I said, "You remember helping me with a boiler like this?" She says, "Yeah, I do." Oh, she says, "Yeah, that was such a nice day." And what it was, well, I was, like I said, I was a boiler maker in central Pennsylvania. And, I was at a nearby school with one of my coworkers, a fellow named Jackson. Jackson was an old sailor and I guess worked a lot in the boiler rooms on ships. I assume he did. Pipe fitter, maybe. And Jackson and I were assigned to put fresh tubes into a steam boiler at a school, nearby school. And it was close enough that my first wife at that time, Molly, thought she'd drive up, do a little shopping up in Towanda, and it was the big city. Yeah, yeah. Boy, things really rocked in Towanda on a Friday night. And but she came up, brought Sonny, and I don't know, somehow they got into the school, and I don't know, I'm inside the boiler slugging it out. Jackson and I are cussing about something. We probably both hit our head on something or burned ourselves some way, and and all of a sudden, Sonny looks into there was an access port on the side of the boiler, and Sonny says, "Hi, Dad, what you doing?" I said, "Right now I'm nursing a sore head. I just hit my head on a pipe." She says, "Oh yeah." She says, "It's all red." I said, "Yeah, doggone it. Oh, Jackson, I wish you would have." And Jackson, he's holding his knee for some reason. He twisted his knee. I don't know. And we're both well, we're doing our best not to cuss now. And Sonny says, so what are you guys doing in there? I said, well, we're taking these tubes out. You see them, the horizontal tubes? Yeah. She says, yeah. She says, whoa, can I come in? I said, Sonny, I don't think you're allowed in. I'm surprised you got into the boiler room. Says, well, Mom and I snuck in. I look out, there's my wife, Molly at that time. Molly, my wife at that time. And I said, well, hi, how you doing? She says, well, not too bad. I said, well, they let you in? She says, yeah, we just walked through, said we knew you. I said, oh, okay, well, so much for security. She says, yeah. So what, you guys working in there? I said, yeah. She says, well, I brought you both a sandwich. I said, ooh, cool. And Sonny hollers, I got one too. She says, but first we got to do some work. She says, let me get in there. And I said, Sonny, I don't know if you're allowed in this boiler. I mean, God, I think we could get in trouble if we let you in. Well, that started the waterworks. Starts crying. Jackson, I'm trying to explain to Sonny that she can't come in. Jackson's saying, well, I don't know. I think she could. Well, what's it going to hurt? The boiler's off, for crying out loud. Ain't nothing going to happen to her. And Sonny's crying. I finally said, okay, all right, come on in. And Sonny, yay! And she grabs my hands and we lift her in, Jackson and I, and we plop her down. We say, well, you got to have a hard hat. And we holler out I lean out the side port of the boiler and say, hey, Molly, bring me over one of those hard hats, would you? She says, yeah, here you go. And hands it to me. I said, you want to come in too? She says, heck no. So I'm staying out here. And already Sonny was covered with soot. And Sonny puts on her hard hat. I said, here's some gloves you can wear. Now I've got to cut these tubes out. Okay. And these were tubes that would hold water that would eventually be turned into steam. It was a water tube boiler. And we were replacing those tubes. They were getting old. And the last thing you need up in North Pennsylvania in the winter is to have one of your boilers break. That's certain death up there. And certainly it's a lot of frozen pipes in the school. So I said, here's what you do, Sonny. Jackson, you show her. She's got to hold the tube. Look for the tube I'm cutting, okay? She says, yeah, okay, Daddy. And I said, I'll start cutting, and you hold the tube. And then I got to come down to the other side, cut the other end. Now, the tube might get warm, but you got your gloves. You'll be all right. It might feel hot, but it's hot like hot water, okay? Not to where you're going to catch fire. Says, all right, yeah, fine. So I start cutting away. And, of course, the metal gets glowing red where you're cutting, where the flame's touching it. And then you hit the oxygen, the metal starts to just disintegrate like a hot knife through butter. And I'll tell you, you want to wake up fast. Have that torch hit you in the hand, man. You won't sleep for a while. And so I cut the tube loose. I said, okay, you ready? You got it? It's almost loose. Bingo. Okay. And Sonny catches it. Now it's wobbly. And now I got to go to the other side, cut the other end. Now this time, I want you to hold it. You and Jackson hold it. And that way, when we cut it, it won't fall and hit the ground, okay, or hurt something in the boiler. All right, she says, yeah. And so I cut. I said, now when it gets close, I'm going to let you know, and you two hang on to it. And Jackson said, we will. Shut up. We're cutting away. I'm cutting away. Finally, I said, okay, you got about a 1/4 inch to go, you two. Jackson says, okay, Sonny, hang on. And bang, there it goes, and they catch it. The tube weighed maybe 40 pounds, something like that. It was a pretty long tube. And Jackson said, you got it? You got it? Sonny says, yeah, I think so. Boy, it's heavy. He said, well, that's all right. I'll help you. Now, look, don't hit your dad with the hot end. That'll make him yell. She says, yeah. Boy, and it was still glowing red. Sonny's just having a time. We pulled the tube out, get it. We had to shimmy it into position, and out it goes, out the side port of the boiler. I asked my wife, Molly, if she'd grab the other end. She did. She says, God, these are filthy. God. She says, why didn't you warn me? I get a towel. I said, don't touch the hot end. You'll get a burn. She says, oh, yeah. And she plops there. You could hear the tube clank. Sonny said, oh, that's one. Let's get another. I said, okay, you ready? Let's go. Heat it up. I'm heating it up. She's hollering. Sonny's saying, okay, you got it good and red. Hit the oxygen. I pulled the trigger. I said, I pulled the trigger. Sparks everywhere. She's just laughing, having the best darn time. Well, anyway, we cut about 5 or 6 tubes out, and Sonny's, oh, she's covered in soot. Oh my God. Oil soot too. It takes forever to get rid of that. Coal soot falls right off you. Yeah, but oil soot, oh my God. And she she comes climbing out, and Molly looks at her and says, "Oh my God, did you have a good time in there?" She says, "Mom, it was great." And and of course Jackson and I come climbing out. Well, it's time for our coffee break. Did enough work already this morning, and we're sitting there having coffee. Sonny had to have a little sip with us. Molly brought her own, or tea or something, and we're just sitting there on cinder blocks discussing boilers and all the work. And then, well, eventually Molly said, we got to go, kid. We got to get some shopping done. I don't know if they're even going to let us into the supermarket the way you look right now. Look at you all covered in soot. And honestly, if you had hit Sonny like this on the shoulder, it'd be like a dust cloud come off her. And I think it was one of her happiest days. Yeah, she was having a ball. Jackson, he just couldn't stand it. He was just loving it. I think he was a grandfather many times over, and he seemed very pleased with himself. And well, me too. I got to say, I was kind of proud of her, seeing her climb in without even the slightest hint of being afraid. A lot of kids would have been. A lot of grown-ups would be. Heaven knows. Anyway, I just thought I'd say it was pretty cool. Anyway, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, the glory, forever. So be it. Okay, and yeah, by all means, if you got if you got some kids around, you might want to just show them how some things are done, and they'll get a charge out of it. I'm telling you, they will. I'll see you later. Bye now, friends. God bless.